Hello everybody! Well, here we are with the next fight from the first round of the Mount Hua competition for the Blue Dragon server for August 2015, and we have MyNgoc1993 of the Emi facing off against OliveYuee of the Wudong. So I'm probably going to call MyNgoc1993 probably My, and OliveYuee probably Olive, because those names are a little bit of a tongue twister, at least for me anyways. So what kind of fight can we expect out of these two? Hoping some Jade Maiden Sword. I love that set. It looks so awesome. Other than that, I don't really know. Olive is opening with a little bit of Ghost Shadow Sword, and she's laying into my pretty good. Got a few hits in there, not a whole lot of damage, but she's controlling this engagement and making it count for more damage. Mai is coming back with some Phantom Twin Daggers, getting a few hits in there, but definitely not catching up as far as damage dealt. She is getting a few more hits, though. So it seems to be a bit of a trade, using that rage to get away, disengage safely. It's always a nice trick. Haven't seen that too much lately in the Mount Hua, but it seems to work pretty well for her. She gets the knockdown, though, and continues with Jade Maiden Sword, getting some good hits in there. Has Olive down to less than 75%. Olive coming back now with the Ghost Shadow Sword. Not really getting much of a reply there. She has Mai down to 75%, but still not a whole lot of damage coming out of her in the last few seconds. A little bit of goosing. There we go with the Ghost Shadow Sword. Mai manages to get away from the flip and most of the ghost damage, but she still suffers a little bit of injury. More Ghost Shadow Sword. Dodges the flip again. Mai has that one on lock. She's able to dodge that flip pretty consistently. But she's parry broke, and here comes the combination out of Olive. Brings Mai down to 50%. Blocks her reply. And comes back in again with Ghost Shadow Sword. Dodges the flip again. Goes in for the hard attack, but eats a little more damage for that. Mai is now down below 50%. Olive is suffering damage too. She's down below 5,000 points of health. She Pegasuses, circles the moon. Mai might want to think about that as well. She's pretty far down. There she goes. Both of them are sitting on rage. Mai has a lot of rage there. If you can get that to connect, that'll be pretty useful. Ghost Shadow Sword starting to harry Mai. A good connection there. She gets the flip. Olive is following up with the rest of the combination. Has Mai down to less than 75% and falling fairly quickly. Mai gets her block up, though. Dodges the flip and comes in with more Phantom Twin Daggers. Gets some good hits there. Has Olive down to 75%. Continues her attack. Olive disengages, backs away, plucks the Peacock's plume. Mai is just content to circle and fly away. Olive is not pursuing her too hard. Just waiting for a moment to take a breather. More Ghost Shadow Sword coming in. The parry break. And more of the combination out of Olive. MyNgoc is now down below 50% and quickly approaching a third health. A reply of Jade Maiden Sword does not make a good connection. Olive's block was up. She gets the knockdown. Does not get the parry break. Trick the enemy out of Mai. Manages to escape that. She does knock down Olive, though, with the Nine Palaces Sword set. But switches up again. Olive is trying to chase her down with that Ghost Shadow Sword, but not getting a good connection. Mai is proving to be a little bit slippery here. A pluck to Peacock's plume. Olive does not take the bait. She manages to avoid her attack at the last second. A little bit of goosing around here while they wait for that to cool down. Here comes the Ghost Shadow Sword attack. Mai dodges the flip and continues to fly around. Olive is peppering her from a distance, getting a few hits in there, gets the parry break, continues with the rest of the combination. Not inflicting a whole lot of damage here, though. Mai is still sitting at about a third health. Comes back with the Jade Maiden Sword. Not blocked by Olive. Has Olive down to 50%. Olive replies again with more Ghost Shadow Sword. Has MyNgoc down to 6,000 points and falling. More Phantom Twin Daggers. Another knockdown. Another opening to Tai Chi. Will Mai be able to get out of this? That is the question. If Olive gets this, that is it. So it looks like MyNgoc1993 was not able to escape the opening of Tai Chi, the last one there. Olive seemed to use that fairly effectively. The follow-ups were not as strong as they could have been, but for the most part, MyNgoc was not letting her get those follow-ups to land. MyNgoc did a very good job at dodging that flip skill of the Ghost Shadow Sword. She probably has the skill herself if she's that good at dodging it, or she's had a whole lot of practice. Still pretty nice to see. Now if she can get the engagements to go her way a little bit more, get a little more damage dealt, I'm sure she'll be a lot better off. Although Olive still had almost full energy there at the end of that round. Bit of a hill to climb. So straight away, it is Ghost Shadow Sword out of Olive, catching MyNgoc pretty hard on the chin, but not doing a ton of damage. MyNgoc is actually not taking any damage. Olive is taking damage, though, from that Phantom Twin Daggers of MyNgoc. Getting a few hits in there. Some ranged attacks out of Olive. Gets in there and makes it count. Has MyNgoc down to 75%. Olive is at about 75%. A little bit of a trading back and forth here. Just trading blows one after the other. That Phantom Twin Dagger does seem to give you a little bit of an advantage. You can get a couple hits in compared to theirs, but they don't do as much damage. Still, Olive is down below 50%. MyNgoc is sitting a little better this time. A Pegasus and a Circle the Moon out of Olive. MyNgoc is sitting on just what she has. Switches to Jade Maiden Sword, knocks her out of the air. The block is up for Olive, though. Not a whole lot of damage done. Olive gets the knockdown, does not open the Tai Chi. She may not have had enough energy for that, enough rage, but she plucks the Peacock's Plume. Mai is content to just sit back and wait for that to cool off right now. She comes in with the Phantom Twin Daggers, gets a little bit of a hit there. Ghost Shadow Sword for Olive, dodges the flip, continues with the Phantom Twin Dagger. This is unblocked here, doing a bit of damage, but Olive quickly replies with more Ghost Shadow Sword. Again, trading back and forth a little bit here. Olive is now approaching 50% very quickly. Mai is still at about 75% and hanging on pretty well, taking a few hits there, but not a whole lot of damage. She seems to be doing a lot better this round in controlling these engagements and making them count. She's still sitting on full energy. She hasn't Pegasus yet either, which is pretty good. But here comes more Ghost Shadow Sword. Olive gets the flip, the parry break, and the rest of the combination. But Jade Maiden Sword coming back out of MyNgoc gets a little bit of damage. Most of it blocked, though, and MyNgoc is falling very quickly here. She dodges the flip, but she's at a third health. Coming in hard with the Jade Maiden Sword, or the Ghost Phantom Twin Daggers. Does not get a good connection, though. Olive is keeping her block up pretty successfully. A Pegasus there, finally, for MyNgoc. But I think we're getting a little bit of lag here right now. Circle the Moon. An attempted knockdown by Olive does not connect. Olive is chasing MyNgoc around the ring now. Plucked Peacock's Plume. That'll put an end to that. MyNgoc going for her own knockdown. Does not get a connection. Olive is just too quick. There's the parry break, opening the Tai Chi. Olive has caught Mai there. How much damage will this do? Brings her down to 50%. A trick the enemy, though, gets her out of the follow-up. But there's the parry break and more Ghost Shadow Sword out of Olive. She's continuing the attack. Mai comes back in again with the Phantom Twin Dagger, but she eats more Ghost Shadow Sword here. More Phantom Twin Dagger. The block is up for Olive. Definitely went in favor of Olive that time. MyNgoc is down to about a third health, but here is more damage coming to MyNgoc. A good connection there with the Phantom Twin Daggers has Olive down to a third health as well. They are just about even at about 8,000 points of health. A turn weapon around, a switch of the block for Mai, a Pegasus, and Circle the Moon for Olive. Looks like Olive is used to fighting some pretty hard hitters. She had about 8,000 points of health, but she's not letting that sit. The Jade Maiden Sword completely unblocked by Olive. Brings her back down to 50%, though. MyNgoc plucks the Peacock's Plume. Is she going to get any healing out of this? Not really. I think some of the damage is not registering here in this round. Some of the hits have come in and not really connected. The numbers have been showing up, but not showing up on the interface. Anyways, here's the follow-up of the opening the Tai Chi from Olive. MyNgoc is finished here. Yes, she is. MyNgoc was not able to get out of that opening to Tai Chi again, and so is finished. So that means that OliveYuee will move on to the next round. MyNgoc1993 will have to come back next month, and hopefully she'll change her name to something a little easier to say, but I hope you'll stay with us as we will have more fights from the Mount Hua competition for the Blue Dragon server for August 2015 right here on this channel. Please stay tuned for that.